This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Bee Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at beepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply. I'm Danielle Nuhfer, an educator for over 20 years who went up against 2 bouts of serious teacher burnout before finally realizing that I needed to share what worked and what didn't with educators everywhere. This is when Teaching Well was born. At Teaching Well, I partner with schools who recognize that when teacher well-being is prioritized, true teaching and learning can happen. And there's nothing more integral to building this kind of school culture than finding ways to care for yourself in the midst of all the school day hustle and bustle. Building in these moments is what this show is all about and what I hope to bring to you each time I get the opportunity to speak with you here. So with that, let's begin. Good morning, educators. Welcome to this podcast. I'm Danielle, your host, and today's episode is a special one. We're diving into how to choose serenity over stress and calm over chaos by understanding the 4 noble truths of teaching. The 4 Noble Truths of Teaching is something I adapted from my book, The Path of the Mindful Teacher. You could think of it like a flow chart leading us from stress to serenity and from chaos to calm. We'll analyze these truths section by section and then examine what each of this means for us as educators. So the first noble truth is that teaching is difficult, and it's filled with stress and the demands for our time. Let's face it, the teaching profession is no walk in the park. There are expectations, demands, and challenges that can often feel overwhelming. So can we agree on this first truth? Teaching is definitely difficult. The second noble truth is that much of the stress comes from external factors beyond our control. Much of what we deal with in our classrooms and in our schools are impacted by external forces. It's the reality we face daily. So can we accept this fact and move forward? The third noble truth is that there is a way to lessen the stress and the demands and live a more balanced teaching life. This is the turning point, the promise of a solution. I assure you that there is a way to navigate the stress and demands of teaching while achieving balance. Are you ready to believe that this is true? The third noble truth gives us hope for a more balanced teaching life. And finally, all of this leads to the fourth noble truth. The way to accomplish this is to make teaching less about what we can't control and more about what we can. We are both the cause and the solution. The power to choose serenity over stress lies within us. Are you ready to embrace this truth? The fourth noble truth emphasizes that by focusing on ourselves, being mindful of external factors, but nurturing our internal lives, we can choose serenity over stress, and it's an empowering revelation. To summarize, by accepting these 4 noble truths of teaching, we now have a path and a solution. The solution is within you. It's about understanding that while external factors contribute to stress, we can't control them. The solution is to focus on ourselves, nurture our internal lives, and thrive. Now, of course, this is easier said than done. I know that there are things that are absolutely beyond our control, and certainly no one wants to be in a situation that is abusive or just depleting of your internal resources. But what I ask you to consider is that you do have more agency than perhaps you even realize or give yourself credit for. So I'd just like you to think about that as you move throughout this week. So this week, reflect on one stressful situation from your week and consider how choosing serenity over stress may have changed the outcome. By focusing on your internal lives, what could you have figured out you had more control over than what you originally believed? So thank you for joining me on this journey today. Remember, the power to choose serenity is within you. Until next time, stay mindful, stay empowered, and have a wonderful day in and out of the classroom. If this morning's motivation resonated with you, I'd love to connect more. Check out teachingwell.life in the show notes to find out how we can partner together. Thanks for listening. And whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.